What's up, ladies and germs? I'm back. Just want to let you know this episode is brought to you by Squid Games. Squid Games, the ultimate mug. No, this is not Squid Games thing. This is given to me by my man out in Phoenix. What's up, dog? He hooked me up with a limited edition Squid Games popcorn bucket. If you don't think I'm not going to put that in my museum, you cry. He also hooked me up with honey mustard Pringles, which I've never seen, so I'm not opening them. They're going on the shelf. So, lots to talk about today. We're going to get into it. Oh, so many things. The first thing I want to say is that if you like this pod, you should like it and subscribe to it. I know that's annoying, but really, I'm going to stop touring until I can only have people come to the shows that see me from this. Because a lot of people sometimes don't know. They like me. Most of the people that come out to shows now that are passionate, I feel like, know me from my work, really listen to Jeff Lewis Live, which I'm on every week, and some people from the pod, and some horror movie people. And that's it. So I really want people to come on, do the messaging with me that agree with what I'm talking about. And I had a great, pod with Jesse Lee Peterson. I'm going to do more pods like that and just going to do as many as I can. Because I love branching out. He was awesome. I just want to give you this inside scoop. So everyone that knows me knows that I've, my whole life I've had a heart problem. Discovered when I was 10, and I have a pacemaker. It's in my book. I've had it since I was 14, and almost 40 years. Almost 40 years, 39. I've had it, and then I lost a kidney, and then I had a melanoma on my back. Like, I've paid my dues to the health gods, and my sister's always like, well, you're the kind of guy that gets something, and then they fix it. So I feel good, like my parents. God rest my mother. Today she's 95. She's in heaven. But she lived a month before she was 90. My father's 86 and smoked since he's 13 years old. So I feel I have good genes. So hopefully, knock on wood, if I take care of myself. So haven't drank in 5 and some years. I'm to the point where I don't even want to drink. Like, I do sometimes miss being shit-faced and fun, but I'm more alert and focused now, and I don't even need to alter my consciousness by anything. Maybe I'll try some shrooms again. I haven't done them in a long time, but now they're being medically given out, and they're microdosing, and there's drinks and stuff. So maybe I'll try that, because I don't think that's California sober, but it's not even really. I'm not even sober. I'm just stopped drinking because I don't think it's good for your health, your mind, your attitude. So I think a lot of people have stopped drinking, actually. So what am I trying to tell you? I'm trying to tell you is that I've been taking care of myself, and I'm a big believer in carnivore. I'm a big believer in everything we have we have simply. Okay? You don't need much. This is what you need, right? A few oils, which is just olive oil, avocado oil, coconut oil, or ghee butter. That's it. Eat steaks. I eat some chicken. I know you're not supposed to. Some fish, if you want to. Some shrimps. I know they're not the best in terms of the iron and stuff in the ocean or the mercury, but yams, white rice, blueberries, goat's milk yogurt, fresh cream for my coffee, honey, local, some watermelon, blueberries, mangoes. I haven't fucked with vegetables. I'm reading all this stuff about vegetables, and they just fuck with your gut microbiome. All vegetables are a big lie, and I'm going to tell you why. Big kale, big lettuce, big tomato. I like a tomato, obviously, but even a tomato doesn't really do much for you. Big carrot, all these big, it's like big pharma. So here's why. I'm going to tell you this, and I'm going to talk to you, and I'm going to tell you why. This is an example of how everything is a work. I don't want to say a lie. I want to say a work, because that's what wrestling is. It's real, but it's heightened. You know what I'm saying? It's a work. It's like reality shows. It's real, but it's worked. Okay? So, I follow this doctor on Instagram, Paul. I don't know his last name, Maldino or something. Big carnivore guy, looks at the sun, eats those basic foods, surfer, seems really healthy. He's the guy who's behind the Kale's bullshit. And he's a doctor. So I'm like, this is interesting. Then I have another doctor, Dr. Dean, who I go to, who's a very wellness guy. We were talking. So basically, I'm going to go here and I'm going to try to make it as simple as possible. This is not me. I guess I have to say this. I'm not a doctor. This is all it's for entertainment purposes. Do I have to say that? I guess I have to do. But we can talk. You know the thing that's really not good for you is these oils, these seed oils, soybean oil. All these oils are a cheap way to lubricate the food that's not even real food, and you're basically filling up on empty calories. So if you eat an egg, it's really dense and it's satiating. A piece of meat will fill you up. A piece of meat and some yam fill you up. Salt, pepper, garlic, few things. And it's really rich. Like, it tastes good. I only drink this water. I've been drinking for a while now. I just started in the green bottle. It's expensive, but, you pay here, pay at the hospital, in my opinion. Plastic, I had plastic water out of a bottle. I spit it out. I could taste it. It was so much different. I can't do it. And if you can't do that, you got to go and get filtered water. I'm sorry. I know it's expensive, but what's your health worth? So what am I trying to tell you is that there was a big work where everybody was a meat and potatoes type of guy. And the guy went out and chopped wood, and the woman baked muffins, and they had kids, and everybody fucking drove a Studebaker. And then somewhere in, I want to say the 70s, the food pyramid changed, and fucking Kellogg and all this stuff. You can look up the Kellogg people. This is for entertainment purposes, but the Kellogg people, this is entertainment purposes, definitely put something in the cornflakes to make men a certain way. Look that up. Entertainment purposes. So that's documented. So basically, the diet of simplicity was all fucking, everything is too complicated in this world. Everything. It's simple. Food is simple. Relationships are simple. Your money flow is simple. Exercise, you don't need gyms. It's, again, 5 exercises and you can be ripped. I follow another guy on TikTok. Why? Which is why they want to ban TikTok, because even though there's some bullshit on there, obviously, there are people that are really doing things and really simply and showing you how to do it. And there's a guy that works out. He's incredible. He does 5 simple exercises, and every day you see his progress. He's incredible. So this is the same with food. So in the 50s, the 60s, somewhere around the 70s, or let's say the 60s, the cholesterol was higher. So I think it's 180, and your other one should be like 140, right? But before it was like 2 something and like 190. So they changed the rating on the cholesterol. So they didn't go by anything other than what's your cholesterol. And if your cholesterol is too high, they said cut this out, and cut this out, right? So they cut the beef out, cut the cheese out, cut the butter out. So then it was big chicken and big fish took over, and big grain took over, right? Well, if you look at anything about grain ain't great for you. Grain ain't great for you. I'm telling you. Unless you're like going to Italy and baking like a sourdough, the way it's fermented, there's certain things you can eat. But naturally for our body, from what I'm reading, that's not great. And if I haven't had it in a while and I feel great. I do have a great bagel sometimes. I'm just saying I don't make it a habit. So they basically said, well, these people are eating all this cholesterol, it's so high. We got to figure out a work here. So Big Pharma lowered the cholesterol. And if you got over that number, what they did was they started saying, well, you need a pill. They started cutting the food out with whichever you want to go, and that could be the beginning of what's happening now, how they want to cut off the beef and everything. So they fucking starve us out of nutrients. And the eggs were bad and all this stuff. And they also said, here's a pill. Like they say, I hate to say, problem, reaction, solution. I know you're great conspiracy theorists say this, but it's true. Create the problem, react to it. Oh, my God. Here's a solution, a pill. They're making money going in, going out, every way, each way. You know what I'm saying? So TikTok comes along and social media, and people are saying, yo, not so fast, right? So just like when you fact check CNN now, because there's other people going, not so fast. So you go in and you started learning, well, what's going on. So my friend who's a doctor said, look, it's not the cholesterol. It's about the plaque buildup in the arteries, right? So I said, really? He said, yeah. He said, they're just pushing a pill, bro. Once you're over 200, you're getting popped for a fucking pill. They'll put you on a pill for 5 years. And I'm like, when I don't eat certain things like cheese or brie and stuff like that, my cholesterol can drop. I can drop my shit down to lower than 180. It's not hard to do. But I don't know. If I feel is always good, right? So I've been doing a lot of meat, a lot of ghee, butter, soybean oil, avocados. I've been doing what I've been saying. At least I do it for a while, but for the last 2 weeks, I've been very clean. Very clean. Haven't eaten anything out of a can. And I did a big test on my heart because it was time to do this test. And so they fucking CT scan your heart. You get into a huge machine just for maintenance. But I was feeling like a little weird. So my doctor goes in, and then I paid extra to have AI analyze it. Insurance doesn't cover it now. And it's expensive. I was like, that's a little expensive, but it's like so fucking detailed, right? So they literally can see the blood platelets in these pictures. So I go in, I do the scan, I get the injection. Anyone who's listening who's had one knows what's up. And they map your heart out. And so my doctor calls me twice yesterday, and I wasn't thinking anything, but I was a little bit tripping. And I did blood work the week before. And he's like, hey, where are you at, a ball game or something? I said, no. He said, what's that? I said, it's the basketball game I was watching in the background. He said, so I'm calling about your test. And I said, okay, what's going on? He goes, not only is it good, he said, I'm really happy. He said, I don't want to say it's great because I don't want to go overboard here, but it's really good. And he says, I'm very happy. I said, what do you mean? Because I have a little bit of AFib, but I used to have it way worse, and we've got that under control. And I said, what do you mean? He said, well, we mapped your whole heart, and we looked at your pipes, and do you have a history of any coronary disease in your family? I said, not of my parents. No, none of my brothers and sisters. They're all alive, and, they don't eat that well, and they're kicking good. And he said, your pipes are clean. Now, I did this test 5 years ago without AI, and he says, and they were clean then. He goes, you have the tiniest little bit of plaque outside of them. And then I said, is that okay? And he says, truthfully, it doesn't matter. Somebody might say something, but it doesn't matter. But he goes, you can easily get rid of it if you just change your diet a little bit. But he's like, don't eat brie, don't eat yogurt, don't eat this. I'm like, that's all I've been eating in my mind, right? But he's like, you can eat anything. So I said, what's my cholesterol? He says, well, you're at 258. And the other one, like the good ones, that's supposed to be whatever bad is like at 195, whatever. It's like over. And he said, but I said, let's do this test. And he says, all right, we'll do it. And he says, you're right. He said, your cholesterol is high, but you're clean. So it's like saying like, hey, this is a flag for your engine. Something's going off. And we decided that doesn't work, but the engine runs fine because it's a part that doesn't really affect what's going on. So they used cholesterol as a marker to tell you if you're healthy or not. Now let's go deeper. There's another doctor on TikTok, and I don't care who comes from me with this. I feel so good. Our brain is made up of like 77% of something and then 23% of something else. And the 77% that is made up of something else isn't as used as much, but it would be used more because its number one thing that nourishes it is cholesterol. What do you want me to tell you, folks? They want you dumb, young, and not full of You know what I'm saying? They just want you fat, dumb, and watching a ball game. That's it. They don't want you thinking. They don't. Look the stuff up. I'm just telling you this because I'm having my own great feelings. And I started, I've been stretching a lot lately, going to the stretch class. Now I'm starting to work out again, just doing calisthenics, trying to get my pull-ups up. And I think my new high is going to be being healthy. So listen, I got high cholesterol, clean pipes. I eat butter, but good butter. I eat avocado oil. I don't eat soybean oil. I don't eat macadamia nut oil. I don't eat fucking seed oil, none of that shit. I drink water. I'll drink a poppy soda sometimes, not even that one, like a cleaner one than that. Sometimes I have Mexican Coke, but I haven't had any of that in 2 weeks. I'm trying not to eat corn chips. I love corn chips. So I'm an example of going against what they tell you shouldn't eat. And even my doctor, who's an amazing guy, is like, just stay away from this stuff because you don't know in 5 years it could fill up. Well, doctor, I've been fucking with this for the last few years and it's not changed. So clearly the doctor, Paul Saldino, who I think is his name, on Instagram was like, your cholesterol will go through the roof, but your pipes will not clog. I'm an example of that because I have the reports. And then he did my blood work, and he's like, your blood is really good. I'm waiting on one other test, but he's like, your liver, your kidney, we checked your lungs, your platelets. He's like, yeah, everything looks good. He's like, he goes, I'll take this. That's not even it yet. And let me tell you about an egg. They told you about you're not supposed to eat the eggs. Oh, the yolk. Now I'm seeing all the fucking shit. The yolk is the most nutritious part, which makes sense because it's an unborn chicken. And the stem cells probably from that yolk have tons of nutrients in it, which you can look at. And I ate 3 eggs the other day, and I was pretty full. I ate 3 soft-boiled eggs and a half of a yam with sea salt and pepper and a little garlic flake. And I was pretty full for fucking hours. And I had a coffee. I did put cream in it and sugar. Honey. And I was fucking full for a long time. So I'm like, this whole egg argument, and the eggs help shoot your cholesterol up. But you're getting the nutrients. They say there's so many nutrients in it. So again, everything they say is bad, is good, Satan. You know what I'm saying? Like, does that make sense to you? So let's go deeper. Fuck, I lost my fucking train of thought. So I feel energized. I feel strong. I feel more clear. I'm also taking a lot of turkey tail, lion's mane. I'm an example of they're going to say one thing, but you go into your body and you see if the thing that they say it is causing the other thing. So does cholesterol clog your arteries? Sure. Probably if you're susceptible to it. Now, I may not have the gene, which would be, thank God, right? Or it's the wrong food. So if you eat the wrong foods like palm oil, like I heard that's like the devil. Like palm oil is like the most dense, just non-breakdown oil. And that's apparently just a fucking artery clogger. The egg being the most nutrient-dense thing there is, or one of them, makes sense. And it's in the same belief system of why women, this is a known thing. When they have their baby, some women take the placenta and cook it because it's supposed to have all these healing properties in it, which I thought was disgusting when I heard it. I'd rather it be like in a pill because it just sounds like almost cannibalism. But apparently, among the fucking super health gurus, this is a thing. And apparently it's like filled with tons of stuff. So if you believe in all the youthful properties of these things, an unborn chicken would be a youthful property. You know what I'm saying? We don't get eggs. Cows don't come in eggs. But if we did, we'd probably eat them too, right? So it kind of makes sense, right? And it's the clogging and the blocking probably from the foods that aren't good. I only want to eat things that have one name: steak, yam, burry, cream, avocado, salmon. You know what I mean? Water. So, in my 2 cents, you have to do it for yourself. Try things. Keep it simple. They make it so complicated. Keep it simple. And today I did my radio show with Jeff Lewis live, and people are like, Jamie's up today. Jamie feels good. Why? Well, because I got a good report.